Good morning. Welcome to Harpy Stitch. I'm Amy and this is my corner of the internet all about my cross stitch. Welcome. If you are new, welcome back. If you are returning, thank you to my new subscribers. I'm at 280. Kind of exciting. I'd been stuck right below 275. I was like 273, 274, 276, going up and down a little bit. So it's nice, and I hope that if you are new, you stick around. Kitty, psh! Sorry, my cat is digging at plastic bags. Hey, cut it out, mister. Don't tear up the kids' papers. Hey, no. He's decided to be naughty now that I'm filming. What are you going to do, cats? Excuse me. I'm going to pause and deal with this. Okay. He was attacking. My planner has a little elastic thing to put your pen in, and he kept attacking that. Apparently, he thought it was a bug. I don't know. He's so weird. All right, well, I hope you have had a good couple of weeks. The last time I saw you, it was January 25th, and today is February 8th. Got my car sorted. Turned out, in addition to the battery and everything else, the fuel pump had to be replaced. So quite expensive, which stinks, but such is life in adulting. I've been really busy. I'm working, of course, my 3 jobs if you count night school, Michael's, and my full-time day job. 2 classes, so I haven't gotten as much stitching done as I would like. I haven't really gotten any Flosstube in. I did manage to fit in the Hiking Stitchers Aaron's Whip Parade, but it took me like a week to watch it because I was watching it in teeny tiny pieces. Because what I'd been doing was watching Flosstube in the morning before work, but now I'm doing reading or prepping for homework or stuff like that for my classes. I'm really ready for spring break, which is the first week of March. We have an e-learning day on Wednesday. We're going to do access testing, which is assessing students' language skills if they are EL learners. Excuse me. And so all the other kids will be home. And because it's a testing day, teachers don't have to come up with lesson plans. The district pushes out something for kids to do. We had an e-learning day on Friday, so we could have professional development. Not tomorrow, but the next Monday is a holiday for, I think it's Martin Luther King Day or President's Day. I can't remember. My brain is fried with everything. But we get a day off. Then we have 1 full week of school after that, and then it'll be spring break. And then the week after that, spring break for my college courses. So I wish they lined up, but they don't. So I'll just try to maybe what I'll do is I'll try to work ahead as much as I can in my courses on my spring break. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much time to work ahead, but it'll happen or it won't. If I don't work ahead, I don't work ahead. We are going to get to go see our kid over spring break, and then their husband coaches robotics, and they'll be up in April to where we live for the tournament, so we'll get to see him twice in as many months. That'll be awesome. My January stitching totals were not very high with my college courses starting on January 12th. I got a total of 7,860 and a quarter stitches in. So very low stitching month for me. And my brain has definitely wanted to be stitching a lot more lately, but I am pushing against my brain's wishes and doing my adulting stuff first. So I don't have a lot of whips for you today. I just have 3. I am trying to use my 26 for 26, so 26 projects that I've picked to do 2,026 stitches in for fandom. That's the year-long challenge, and I'm trying to use those to finish all of my weeklies so that, excuse me, so that I make sure I finish all my 2,000 stitches in each one, which I didn't do last year. So I'm kind of just using those for all the prompts. If they fit, it's great. If not, I use the off-Broadway option and use them anyway. And I am also trying, the projects that I've picked for WhipGo, I'm trying to save them until they're called so that I can double dip WhipGo my 2026 stitches and my weeklies. So that's what I've kind of been doing to make sure I get all of my yearly challenge finished this year. I was a few short last year. So I did download Notion, and it looks very complicated to set up. So if you are a Notion user and have any suggestions on how to do it, I know that there's some templates or something you can buy on Etsy from some cross stitchers. I just don't remember what any of them are. I started looking at the setup. I'm like, oh no, I cannot handle this. My mental load is already at capacity. I cannot handle this. So if you have any suggestions on how to use Notion or get that set up, I would greatly appreciate it, because as much as I love doing stuff on paper, I am getting tired of having to go back and add everything up at the end of the week and the end of the month. And from what people have been saying, Notion does that for you. And if you know how many stitches it in, it'll even give you an estimated time of when you could finish it. It might help me focus enough on my wisdom stocking to give it to the kid. Don't do stockings much anymore now that they're grown up, but I would like them to have it anyway. All right, so on to whips. As I said, only have 3. So I used, for the week after I saw you, I used this one for all of my weekly prompts. And it, as I said, I didn't get a lot of stitching in. Last year I was finishing my prompts by like Thursday or Friday, even with my one class. But with 2 classes, I'm spending a lot of time in the evening reading or doing homework. And one of my assignments is to do a course plan with the new standards, and which it's a very helpful class, but it's very mentally taxing. And that's what I'll be doing today, is chores and trying to finish that up before Monday. Luckily, it is they don't expect you to have it perfect, so it's a first draft kind of stitch. All right, so this is A Witch's Welcome by Annie of Dirty Annie's. This was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I got quite a little bit done. I finished filling in this sign. I added some candles in the wicks. I added this key up here. So the sign's completely done. I got the little spider, look at him. Got the kitty cat done. And then I started on this vase or planter in the plant. This is on 40 count Antique Lace by Seraphim. It is only 10 colors, and I'm doing it 1/2. It is such an easy stitch once you get counted out. And I think next time I work, I'm probably going to, well, I'll finish this because it'll annoy me if I don't. And then I think I'll probably work over here. I started this on May 9th of last year, and I'm doing it 1/2. It is so cute. I have another Dirty Annie's. It's her New Orleans funeral procession that I'd really like to get started, and I was thinking that would be my first. Then I realized this was already a Dirty Annie's. So I think it's looking lovely. So nice. Very, not my usual style, but I don't know, something about it. It just appealed to me. Oh, wait, it's spooky. That's what appealed about it to me. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to have something that's a little less color intensive. And that antique lace, I'm trying to think of something. I don't have any more of it, but I would love to get some more, and I'm trying to think of a good project to put on it. All right, next is Reindeer Roundup, and I used this for half of my prompts. It was my February WhipCo call, so both of my February WhipCo calls are already done because I didn't do a certain number of stitches. I knew, just like last year, I knew that with my schedule, guaranteeing a certain number of stitches plus the other challenge stitching wouldn't work for my brain. It would stress me out. So I just work 2 days on it, and that is 2 days of whatever I get stitched. So, you know, it's not by number of stitches. I pick it up for 2 days. Maybe it's an hour stitchy session, maybe it's 2 hours. So I used it also for 3 of my fandom weekly prompts. I split it between, and I'm in Whip Warriors, so it was also one of my February Kiss keep it simple stitching or something like that. And it's the only prompt I'm allowed to do with Whip Warriors. If I do that one that month, I can't do any others. But I kind of picked that way on purpose because of my school schedule. And ideally, I would like to do the weeklies with one project, the monthlies with another, and have, but I literally don't have time for that in my schedule as much as I would like to be able to do that and do a separate stitch every month for my Whip Go and everything like that. I really wish I could do individual projects and get separate stitches on everything, but I just can't. I just don't have the time in my day. So this is Reindeer Roundup by Joan Elliott. I got this from a Better Homes and Gardens Christmas book that I inherited from my grandmother. I started it on August 13th, 2025, and it is on 14 count navy with snow by Fabric Flair. Oops, let me let you see the reindeer too. I was getting annoyed with trying to count the half stitches on this fabric and the reindeer's antlers, so I came down here enough to get this part of the reindeer in to make it easier to count over. And I thought if I got Santa in place, it would be easier to do, because these are also antlers. It would be easier to do the antlers. So, plus I was tired of the brown. I needed a break from brown. I mean, now I'm going to have a whole ton of brown, but I'm probably going to, next time I work on it, come back over here and work on the reindeer's bodies a bit. I really don't like doing partial stitches on 14 count, but actually this pattern called for 14 count, and this is a piece that I won from Fabric Flair, and the other piece that I won from them, you had to gift it to a friend, so I gave it to Carrie of DNA Geek Crafts. But there's 23 colors, and I'm doing it 2/1. I love the richness over here. These holes you see are going to be beads. I thought I had the gold. There should be some gold Kreinik in here, and I thought I had it, but I don't, and apparently it's out everywhere. I heard somebody said somebody bought Kreinik and that they're transitioning manufacturers or something, so there's a shortage. I'm a little concerned because if you look, you can see where the snow is underneath, but I think once you pull back, I think it's just going to add some like color. I mean, it's blatantly obvious here, but a bead will go on top of that spot. And then there are supposed to be 200 white beads on this for the snow, and I am probably still going to do some of those just to add some sparkle, but I might not do as many since I've already got snow in there. But that is where we're at, and when you pull it way back, I don't think it's obvious that there's little white dots underneath. I mean, there is where, like right here, because it's not fully covered yet. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But this just made me think snow and Christmas, so that's what I put on it. All right, let's put that over there. Now, my final one for you is my frogworts. It was my other Whip Go, and I've also finished 2 days on it. I used it to fill in the other 3 weekly prompts, and to finish out my kiss stitching, because you have to do 1,500 stitches in Whip Warriors for KISS to be continued on, because if you don't participate, they kick you out. Which is one of the reasons I was nervous about starting, but I found a way to do it. I'm just gonna do that, double dip that with my Whip Goes every month, and I will get enough. All right, so this is Frogworts by Black Needle Society. I started this on May 4th, 2024. I am doing mine all on one piece. This is on 36 count Stonewash by Seraphim, and I'm doing it 2/2. So I filled in some of our diamonds down here. I got this guy in. Here's the turban. I added some more of the letters. I finished up this jelly bean. Did this jelly bean, this jelly bean, this jelly bean. And that is year 1. I am going to focus on year 1 until I get done with my 2026 stitches. and try to get as close to finishing it as I can. I know I won't finish it with 2,000 stitches because these things are like 1,200. And then these footprints are from Nautalota Stitches, and I have had so much trouble with them, and I've decided I'm waiting till I get everything else in. And then, just in case you haven't seen it, there's year 2. I did get some of the Gryffindor sword in there. I haven't worked on year 3 in a while. There's year 4. I finished year 5 after Frogwarts retreat, and this is year 6, and it was my first ever retreat finish. I know, I've shown it before, but I'm really proud that I got it done in the retreat time. Ooh, my first ever retreat finish. It was very exciting. One of these days, maybe I will get to go to an in-person retreat. But I have already registered for year 7. So I'm looking forward to that. That will be a nice break from everything in July. I am not competing this year. I'm just going to do Hogsmeade. And you can still win door prizes, but I think I have to do like some stash dives or something like that to qualify. But I have to like find one item. And I am going to try to finish year 7 in the time. I'm hoping to get more done and have at least one of the other bands finished. Ideally, I'd like to finish all of them before the retreat, but I don't think that's highly likely with my schedule. My classes go until April, and then I have to start prepping my portfolio to get my science teacher license because I'm teaching out of field, and we do have a portfolio method, so it's one of the reasons I'm taking the classes. And this 3D science class I'm taking that I have to do the course plan for, super helpful, but very mentally challenging. Like, I'm having to think in new ways and expand my brain, and yeah, it is difficult with everything going on. But I will persevere. I will persist. And I know some people apologize for drinking on camera. I'm not going to. It's dry. It's cold. My nose is stuffy and drainy, and I think you'd rather see me drink than have me cough or something. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So other than keeping up with WhipGo, weekly challenges in between my studies, those are really all my plans for right now. I would like to do some new starts because new starts are fun. They give you a little endorphin rush. But I've got what I figured out 49 projects still, and I do have the fabric for Legend of Sleepy Hollow by Glendon Place. I'd really like to do the Winter Creature Sal, and I think I'm gonna double check to see if the Pensieve fabric that I got in my last Frogworks box would work with it. And I think those two would probably be the ones that I would start maybe. Or one of the Country Magic Stitches, because I have fabric I can use for that. I wouldn't have to go buy anything, because, yeah, no buying anything for a while with the car repairs, and, yeah. So, if you just wanted to see my stitching, that is it. I don't have any movie actually, just watched The Housemaid. Excellent. Now I gotta go read the books. But other than that, I've been watching a lot of musicals in the evenings for fandom stitching. We just watched Epic for the first time last night. It is a musical version of the Odyssey that somebody created on YouTube, and then people have done animatics for it, and we watched that with the kid last night. One of their favorite things ever. So that was fun. Husband saw Chorus Line for the first time in forever and was like, oh, I didn't think I liked this, but it's all a character study. This is actually better than I thought. Carousel, we watched that. Toxic Relationships, so much. I liked it much better when I was younger and didn't realize how icky that relationship was. But we get to watch some fun musicals, and we do that after dinner, after I've done my homework and stuff. And it's nice to have something fun, and it's a good variety of stuff. So, but if next I am going to talk about the fundraiser I'm doing for local Minnesota families here. I've mentioned it before, but I wanted to give you an update. If you are not interested in hearing about that, I hope you have a great 2 weeks. If you are, please stick around. So if you don't know, I live in Minnesota. If you didn't watch my other video, I'm not going to go into it as deeply as I did in that one. ICE has not left. I know that they've said they're going to remove some people, and my guess is they're just moving them to different states. The activity in my area is not quite as intense, but we have had a citizen of my city who is an American citizen detained twice, arrested twice by ICE. He was released both times. Just this last week, we had 2 people taken from Waite Park, which is the town that kind of intertwines with St. Cloud. You know, it's like their city limits are right next to each other, but they also, like, the city limits are straight, so they wind around through each other. We still have families scared. More of the kids are coming back to school. But there's a lot of people who are really behind on rent and groceries and stuff like that because they couldn't go to work. So you may have seen the Rebel Loon pattern. There's so many versions of it now, and I was glad to see, or you may have seen the Rebel Loon picture, and I was glad to see that a lot of people are making them for every state bird. So there's a whole collection. I'm thinking about seeing if I can do it. So this is the one. This is the first one I saw, and there's another one that just has the North Star that looks just like this, and then there's one that has like our new Minnesota flag inside the loon and more detailed bird feathers. But I took this image, which was released under Creative Commons, and I turned it into a cross stitch pattern. It was the first time I had used wind stitch, and I may go back in, and I made it about 100 by 100, and so it is really big pattern. I might go see if I can figure out how to do it 50 by 50 to make a smaller version. But if you get this pattern off my Ko-Fi or my Ko-fi, then all the money for this, it is, I set it at 50 cents, and because I was afraid if I didn't, some people would take it without donating, and somebody did donate just 50 cents to get it. Or if you send me a receipt for donating to one of the 3 organizations I'm going to list here in a second, if you don't want the pattern, you will be entered to win a chance, you will be entered for a chance to win one of 5 project bags made by Kaylee Tent Stitch. I reached out to her when I was doing this because I know she's done fundraiser kind of things before, and I just said, could you please share this with, your group and everything? And she's like, sure. And then she offered to make me some project bags as prizes. I'm going to show you what she did here in a minute. But for those of you who have known it, thank you so much. We already raised over $400. I'm waiting till the drawing is done, and then I will take the funds to probably our local DFL office, because they're kind of coordinating the efforts around here. But the 3 organizations are Fei Justica, I think I said that right, which is a group that supports Latino Americans. There's Fahan, which supports Muslim Americans locally. And then there's Cairo, which is, I have to read it because I will not, Center for African Immigrants and Refugees. And they do like academic support for kids and help people find resources and stuff like that. They actually work with our local school district to support, itchy Flosstube eye, to support our students of African descent who are struggling academically, or to give them mentors, or they offer tutors. They do all sorts of things to help out the community. If you want to donate directly to them, and you don't want the pattern, it is about 10,000 stitches. You could send me a copy of your receipt. They do have donation segments on their websites at harpystitch@google or at gmail.com. I will link all of their original websites below if you are interested. I want to thank everybody who's already donated. I know somebody started stitching my pattern, so thank you as well. If you do end up stitching it, please let me know. As I said, it's the first time I've used one stitch, so I was learning as I went. I'm going to try again maybe to make it a little smaller, because I know not everybody wants to stitch a really big piece. But if you would like a chance at the bag, at one of the bags, drawing will be held on February 15th. Let me show you. Let's see, can I just scroll? Yep. So these are the bags that Kaylee made. She asked me for my input. So we got a Campbell soup can, which my last name is Campbell. I wish I had the Campbell money. Or it's not exactly Campbell's, but it's a tomato soup. It makes me think of Campbell's. This is a mushroom bag. I love mushrooms, so I had to go with that. And I snagged these off of my Instagram because, and then this is, you can't see it, but it's got, this is an Alice in Wonderland fabric. I don't know who the designer is, but it is got like a pocket watch somewhere on it. Then we have these moths. And then the Mario bag. It should be, yeah, that's it. So if you would like a chance to enter to win one of those bags, please either grab my pattern off Ko-fi or Coffee, or donate to one of those organizations and email me the receipt at harpystitch@gmail.com. It is still like not just what's going on in Minnesota, but other things that are happening in the United States. It is not an easy time to keep a positive attitude here. I am doing my best. Luckily, the kids at school usually keep me too busy to keep stress about stuff at work, or at least not global consequences stuff. But when I'm at home, I'm either busy, I'm trying to be busy studying or stitching or doing something that is pretty or fun just to keep going. I am going to let you go. I hope you have a wonderful week, or 2 weeks probably. Have a great week stitching. Be safe. Protect democracy. Don't let the bastards get you down. That's about it for me. Take care, and I hope to see you around. So long. Thanks for all the stitch. Bye.